go. Okay. Okay.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of City Pickleball Podcast. Haven't done one of these in a couple weeks. I was in Colorado for some time. We're back. We're actually joined by Konnor Masell. Is it Masell, or that's how you pronounce that? Great. Probably should have asked that beforehand, but here we are. A couple sponsors we'd like to thank. We're doing this out of Toledo Tech Loft down here in downtown Toledo. Matt Kennard, he does all the music that's involved in our videos, and Dylan, Sean, the behind-the-scenes experts. With that, let's get into this. Konnor, how are we today?
Doing great. How are you doing, Eli?
Not too bad. About a year ago, I don't think I knew who you were, and then I played the Glass Cities tournament, and I actually was. You probably won't remember this. I'm sure you played the 4-5 and up.
Last year I played 4-0.
Oh, really?
With my dad, yeah.
Okay. I knew you played with your dad, but I was in the tent right next to you, so I would play a game, but you would go. But I just assumed I was watching the top because everyone, it's cliquey, kind of. All the good players stay together, which that's how it is now for me. I like, you stay with your knit group. But watching you guys, Leslie Gil was with you guys, like sitting around there. So with we were talking tournaments, things like that earlier before. We said we didn't want to say anything before we started talking on here. But Glass Cities tournament, what do you think of it? Is it a good event, good venue? What are your thoughts on it?
Glass City tournament, I think I've done it for 3 years now. I played 3-5 with my dad. At 4-0 with my dad twice.
Okay.
The very first time we played 4-0, we went 2-4.
Okay.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what more can you ask for if you're paying a bunch of money to go play people you play all the time?
Right.
But it's a really competitive tournament. Great courts over at Rossford, and it's a well-run tournament.
Yeah.
All in all, too. Very busy.
Exactly. I actually was talking to Jody, and the last podcast I said it wasn't Duper related, but it wasn't last year, but she wanted me to correct it and say this year's is Duper. So
great,
Jody, there you go. No, I do think it's a great tournament. Now that it is Duper, it's probably going to pull more outsiders, I would think. So a tournament being Duper and non-Duper, does that affect your decision in playing one?
No, not at all. I do believe in Duper. I know people sometimes are iffy on whether or not Duper is accurate or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
My Duper started at a 3-6 when I did a tournament with my wife and I think my dad down in Columbus. And because I was playing 3-5 tournament, 4-0 tournament, and then now my Duper's a 4-9, not to brag.
Hey, that's high.
But it's pretty high, and it's reliable. But playing different Duper events up at Wolverine and playing Duper tournaments, winning them, it just goes up naturally. Duper, it doesn't do high and low shifts like crazy.
Right.
It's 0.003, 0.01.
Right. It's pretty consistent.
Yeah. And so when I do a tournament and I lose a couple games, it hardly affects my score.
Right.
But the more and more you win, it just it slowly goes up if you're actually the level that it says you are. So it doesn't affect if I'm playing a tournament or not. I like the tournament for the tournament's sake.
Sure. Yeah.
So
the Duper's just kind of a lot of people live and die by Duper, and honestly I'll get caught up into it. I won't play one because I like to see that. I'm not trying to go pro, but I like to see the numbers go up. Are you chasing? Well, you're so close to 5-0, and you're one. I think there's a handful that are that close or 5-0 in our area, maybe 5.
I don't even know. Parker is 5'0", Jim is 5'2".
Yeah. I don't know of anyone else.
Elliot and Truett will be.
Right, yeah, you're right.
Once they get their duper.
Yeah.
But I'm not chasing it. It's going to happen here once the Toledo Pickle
right. Yeah,
gets those scores in.
I actually talked to Summer down there. She's trying to talk to pickleball brackets, and I thought it's probably going to be 5-0. Did you lose a game?
We lost 3, but we beat some really good teams.
Okay, yeah.
So it should go up at least a little bit, and all I need is that 0.1. So.
Oh, you're that close to it? Oh.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
0.1.
Yeah, right. You're right.
It's like less than a tenth of a point.
So 5-0. So what's the next goal? 5-5? Or, well, we'll take it to here. What do you want from where are you trying to go with pickleball?
I think the better way to answer that is just to start like why I started playing pickleball. And I'm a competitive guy.
Yeah.
I love to have fun on the court, but I also like to win.
Sure.
That competitive nature as a 28-year-old still now is very fun. I just love it.
Yeah.
I started playing pickleball in college with my dad over at Perrysburg Rec when they first painted the pickleball lines on the old tennis court surface. I don't even know if you remember what Perrysburg tennis courts used to look like.
Not at all.
And we would just hit the pickleball around because it was fun. And
Sure.
I played high school tennis at Perrysburg High School on the varsity team. And it's just a bug that you get. And there's an itch to go out and play again. I got my wife involved. We go play. We still play recreational every once in a while. But what do I want to get out of pickleball? It's just fulfilling the athletic urge to play, to compete. It's a place to really practice a craft, get to know new people.
Sure.
And again, it's just that competitive edge or that competitive feeling when you execute your plan and like to perfection and you just want to scream.
Right.
I love that feeling.
Yeah. So strategy, that kind of gets you going. When a plan fully goes to fruition, that's what you want to have fun. And so you're just going to keep playing until the fun's all gone, essentially. Or are you going to are you trying to push to a certain level or pro status? Or is that not in the back of your mind? Well, I'm sure it's in everyone's mind at some point, right?
I don't have aspirations to do pro. Like high-level pickleball as it is just fun for me. Got a baby on the way.
Oh, okay.
My drilling time is going to be lower, of course. But I don't plan on stopping playing. That's not in my...
Right.
I don't want to play for 5 years and then quit.
Right, sure.
There's always something that I am involved in, and this is what it is right now.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people involved. The pickleball is on the up and up, and I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. That's a good place to be as long as you're having fun.
Yep.
Like past podcasts, we've talked about we'll play until it's no fun. Then you're playing tournaments, things aren't going your way, you want to stop. But that's when I took a step back and we just got to you have to have fun first, and then everything after that's kind of a bonus.
Yeah.
But that's all great. Yeah, I think so. Your wife played that last tournament pregnant.
20 weeks pregnant.
Hey.
She got the gold medal.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Hey, she's in the room, so that's what we're looking at there. That's awesome. What does it mean to play? I mean, your dad plays, your wife plays. So what's it mean to be involved with your family in a hobby you enjoy?
I mean, we went to Aaron's Pickleball Barn over Christmas break with my brother, me, my wife, three sisters that were in town, and my dad, and we all just hit the pickleball around. We played recreational games. I was forced to play left-handed.
Okay, fair.
But to play the sport on the same court with family,
right.
It was just such a
Yeah.
Wonderful time, honestly.
Right.
I had a lot of fun playing just recreationally too.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes a long way if you enjoy actually playing rec games. Even if it's not high level, it means you're still enjoying the game a bit. Because we all can get annoyed. You know, you just pull up to a random court, it's open play. You're playing the 70-year-olds that everyone talks about, that's who they played, and the 70-year-olds beat them when everyone started, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You get to a point where, okay, it's kind of annoying, but being at a place where you can still enjoy that means you enjoy the sport. It lasts longer. It's just a good place to be. So no pro aspirations. However, you are now affiliated with Selkirk.
Yep.
So tell us a bit about that.
Well, when I honestly first took the step to practice about the same amount of time that I do play, it was last winter, and I went up to Wolverine a bunch and played, drilled and played tournaments up there. And if you're not aware, Wolverine is all Selkirk, mostly. They're sponsored, they have the brick and mortar Selkirk store. And so my mixed partner actually for Glass City this year, Suzanne, is based out of Wolverine. We're playing the 4-5 mixed.
Okay, nice.
And so she is a Selkirk advocate, and actually I think she's an emerging pro right now.
Okay.
Suzanne, I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn if you're not. But I think she is. Anyways, a month and a half ago, I was like, you know what? I'm taking this seriously. Selkirk has this advocate program. I play with their paddle. Why not take a look at this? And so I applied, filled out all the information. You have to describe your pickleball goals,
Right.
like what you do with the community, your level, tournament play, what medals you won recently, that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't expect anything of it. I just was like, well, it'll be cool. I can share Selkirk with my friends.
Sure.
Or the community parks and stuff. And sure enough, 1 week later, I'm in. They were like, yep, welcome aboard. You're a Selkirk guy. You're an advocate. We'll send you the kit. And so I actually get to represent Selkirk, my paddle that I already used, and they gave me the opportunity to have Selkirk gear to play tournaments with. And then I have a bunch of demo paddles that I can show my friends they can play, try different types of paddles. So I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah. It's all new for me.
They kind of deck you out like you're a sponsored player, essentially, right?
I tell people I'm a sponsored player.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm a Selkirk advocate.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So this is your chance. Tag your code, I guess, right?
So yeah, if you're interested, contact me first of all. But if you want to go buy a paddle, my advocate code is ADV-KMASELL. And what that code will do is if you're interested in buying a Selkirk paddle or balls or a bag, the code will get you a rebate gift card. If you spend $100, it gets you $20, up to $199. $200 will get you a $30 gift card, and then above that, it kind of goes up. You'll have to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. But if you want to talk Selkirk, talk to me and we can hit the ball around.
Yeah. You know what's funny is you were saying like $200, and I was like, gosh, that's a lot of money. But that's like doesn't even buy you a full paddle. You know what I mean? I've got into the sport buying like a $50 paddle, and then you're like, oh, this sure does suck. And here I am, $300 paddle, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yep. So my Amped Pro that I play with was a $180 paddle. I think with the tariff situation or inflation, it's $200 now. So I play with a $200 paddle. Selkirk actually does a really nice job of making quality middle line paddles with the carbon fibers, the Kevlars, that are 120 and below. And so it's actually pretty cool. I just had my demo paddles at Toledo Pickle during the tournament, and a lot of people liked the Halo Pro. It's a Kevlar weave with carbon fiber,
Okay.
a big sweet spot, really soft on the hand, big handle.
Is that similar to 6.0's Kevlar one?
I've
It's
never
their
played.
Ruby.
I've never played with it.
Yeah.
But I would imagine the grit's not as gritty as the 6.0.
Okay.
But it's a decent paddle.
Yeah.
And I got to play with it because I was demoing on them with some of the people who were asking questions.
Were you always a Selkirk guy, or did you try a bunch?
I tend to find something I like and stick with it.
Yeah, fair.
So I've been using the Amped Pro for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now.
Okay.
But before that, I was playing with the Yola Gen 2, went through 3 of those in 2 months, and I gave up on it. Before that, I still have it, my Paddle Tech Tempest Pro, Tempest Rain Pro. It's a long paddle, 0 grit.
All power?
There's no grit.
Oh,
like
it's just smooth?
The way they used to play them.
Interesting.
The way they used to make them. I mean, this is 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a piece of wood at that point.
It's a piece of flat plastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I played with that at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah. So you've been playing 5 years?
Longer than that.
Longer?
I always used my dad's paddle when we first started. It was my junior year of college when he introduced me to the game. I was playing club tennis at BG,
Okay.
Bowling Green State University. And so that was 2017.
Wow.
Like, that's approaching 8.
Yeah. You don't hear a lot of people saying they played that long. Like, most people got into it during COVID.
Yeah.
So you obviously have the advantage of knowing the game. And you know what? Playing against you, you don't even hit it harder than anybody. Your just placement is so well. Your gameplay. Your one shot is setting up your next. That's probably what gets you to 5-0 is just you don't have to hit it harder. Everyone's used to hitting it harder. Honestly, I like when people hit it hard because mine's harder coming back. You know, it's just settling the ball down, finding the feet, finding them in the midcourt, stuff like that. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, what's wrong with the dink in the middle?
I don't think anything. What is
Can
it?
you do that every single time?
Most likely, I think.
So why not do it and be better at them at dinking?
It's just so hard not to hit the ball hard. You know what I mean? Okay, so here's the thing. When that ball gets popped up, I just want to rip it.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? But everyone is so used to that game now. Everyone, like the game, it seemed like everyone hit it hard. Then everyone's like, oh, we have to hit it soft. Now well, honestly, I blame Eula. Eula's paddles hit so hard. And you can still get touch with a Eula paddle, but if you're playing with a Eula, like my last tournament, I played with, I won't mention the paddle actually, but it did not hold up. Everyone has the Eula brand new one, and they've got lead tape all the way around it. And my paddle, it was just like I was throwing a piece of paper at whatever they were cutting. Like they'd hit it, it would, like my paddle would spin in my hand because it's not made like the paddle, paddle.
That's unreal.
It is unreal. Like it was a 4-5 open. It was paddle taps actually.
Cool.
Columbus, I think.
Yep.
You and mine played in it.
Yep.
So I played a lot of the guys that you played. I think one person was using the paddle I used, and he's sponsored by them. Everyone's using the Eula. Mm-hmm. So everyone's using that. Do these hold up? I've never once played a single touch. Actually, I'm wrong. Jerry just gave me a paddle that's 10.
Oh,
The 007.
That's a 007 10 millimeter.
That's all I have knowledge-wise of Selkirk.
I personally don't like that paddle. I tried it one game at the tournament.
I mean, you're winning games with it, so that says enough, obviously.
This paddle, for me, offers a responsive pop right off of my stroke. But then also has a little bit of cushion. Every carbon fiber paddle I played with felt like I was swinging a pillow through the air and the ball went nowhere.
Sure.
I did not like the feeling of it. And my hands are soft enough that I can soften up a poppy.
Yeah.
Like off the paddle poppy.
And that's what everyone's doing with the Eula paddle.
Right.
But the Eula paddle just has the instant pop. You have to be so soft. Where with the Selkirk, I think you have to generate a bit more power than you do with a Eula.
Sure. I don't know. I haven't played with the Gen 3 or up yet.
Yeah. It's not as bad as the previous model. I actually played game against you, and you hit one just at my chest, and all I did was block it, and it went past you, and you're like, dang, Eula paddle. And from there on, I was like, okay, I'm not playing. It's the paddle that's illegal now. I'm like, all right, I'm done playing with it. But like you said, you kind of stick with the same brand. I am like so opposite. I've had every single paddle. I just have not found my fit, except the new Eula paddle seems like my fit. Dylan's got one. He's got lead tape around it. I just feel like if I put lead tape around it, I'm hitting it through the moon.
My buddy and I were just talking about paddles and everything, and I don't see this paddle on tour.
Yeah.
I don't see it. The Columbus, they picked up a guy for the Carolina Hogs at MLP. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But he was playing with, I think, the Power Air, but anyways, I don't see this paddle, but Selkirk has a new pro paddle that they're coming out with. I'm not sure the details of it yet. I'm excited to get my hands on it to try it.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy were talking about paddles, and honestly, as a non-aspiring high-level pickleball player, why change something?
Sure.
If I'm having success, I'm
Right.
having good feel, the ball's going where I want it to go.
Yeah.
When I do want to rip it, it lets me rip it. I mean, I don't know what more I want to ask of my paddle.
Yeah.
If I find success and joy in what I'm playing with.
And we're looking for something different in a paddle. Then there's lower end is a bad way to put it, but like people who don't play tournaments, they're just in it for fun. The main thing they want from it is make sure it goes over the net and it lasts a long time.
Yes.
They don't want to spend $200 every 4 months. They want one paddle maybe for a year, you know. The best paddle I had for that, honestly, was the 6.0 Black Diamond. Lasts forever. It really did. I can't speak on Selkirk, but I mean, you use it enough, and I don't see you switch often. So
the only reason you've probably seen me switch is because they
sent you new ones.
They sent me a bunch of gear, so I've been breaking them in. And not that it needs breaking in, but my original Selkirk paddle I still have. The face is completely worn down, but if I just want to drill drives or blocks, I'll still pull that gray paddle out and
just practice with it.
The core is holding up. They have a
that's the biggest deal. All the core is just Let's say again with the paddle I just used in that tournament, it was like I would hit a drive in the sweet spot and it would go like 7 feet. I was like, I've had this paddle for 3 months. I won't name drop it. However, very disappointed. I'm not going to blame the tournament on it, but I'm going to blame the tournament on it. It did not turn out well at all. But you play with, we were talking earlier, Catherine Parento. She's a Selkirk. Jack Sock, I'm pretty sure, is Selkirk. But a reason a lot of people thought the switch with Annalie Waters and Parento was because she was with Selkirk and her paddle wasn't holding up. But she looks awfully good with the new paddle. Having said that, do you think it holds up with all the other paddles? Like, it's obviously a big name like Eula and stuff like that, but...
Yeah, it's one of the original, American companies.
Right.
They're based out of, come on, my knowledge is escaping me, Utah or Idaho, out west. And it's just a family-started business now that's bigger. But on the pro side of things, the pros that they do have, the core pros, are sticking with them, which tells me that that new pro paddle, the directions that they're taking Selkirk pros, is a really good sign.
That's a good point.
Like, I just watched Jack Sock and James Ignanowicz go against each other, and they're crushing balls.
Right.
I mean, the paddle looks like it's very competitive, and the players that are holding the paddle are also top-notch pro players with a lot of whip.
Right. So having said that, do you think the paddle ranges from beginners to pros? I haven't seen Selkirk's beginner paddles. Like, Eula has them, and they're just, fine paddles.
Well, here's the thing. At least before I watch a lot of pickleball.
Sure.
The new, I think they're calling it the Era paddle. It's that black and white, almost looks like a Yola almost with the white on top.
Yeah.
That paddle, before it was on the pro line, now, they were using the Halo SLK model, which is the intermediate like price range.
Interesting.
But the pros were using it.
Okay.
The carbon fiber, so they're solid paddles all the way down, even to the Evo, the Latitude. It's not as gritty as your pro lines, but they're good paddles.
You were saying like the people holding the paddles in the pros are like phenomenal. Yeah. So how much does like a paddle mean to them? Like they could probably come and beat us with like Ben Johns did that video where he beat people with a frying pan. I don't think Ben Johns is beating me with a frying pan. I'm just, well, maybe probably actually. Yeah, probably. But is it more like you make a mistake? Are you, like the people, they'll look at their paddles immediately. Half the time, I want to say it's the paddle, but I would say 95% of the time it's the user. What like, so, like with Eula, I feel like there's more forgiveness. Like if you hit a ball to the side, there's more forgiveness. I think that's what a lot of beginners like. They want forgiveness on their paddles. Then you get to a more pro, and the sweet spot's smaller. The airs are small. Like if you hit a bad ball on the side, you're not looking good. So speak to that on Selkirk's. Forgiving, what do you think?
I think when you're talking about a pro player, when you go see them live, even on TV sometimes, you can see the middle of their paddle, like about a ball sized with maybe a ball and a half of wear and tear.
Yeah.
I personally don't get that on my paddle. You go to look at Tiger Woods' wedges.
Yeah. Right in the center.
He's got the metal wear and tear marks on the sweet spot. If you hit the sweet spot every time, the ball's going to be true.
Sure.
But any paddle, if you hit the side of the paddle, it's not gonna fly the same. I add weights to mine.
Oh, do you?
Actually, from here all the way up on this paddle, I've got the 2 tungsten strips on each side.
Okay.
And it was the equivalent of very similar to 2 pieces of lead tape on the same length, and that widens the sweet spot a little bit.
Okay.
It offers more stability on any blocks. Like you were saying with the tournament, it would almost twist in your hand. If you hit it off of the sweet spot, it's actually going to have a little bit more stability in your block. Okay. So, and again, for me, I've used the same paddle for 2 years, so I can't speak to other paddles and how they feel. But I know if I hit a wrong spot in the paddle, it's not going to do the same thing as if I hit the sweet spot. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll kind of switch off paddles because honestly, I could talk gear forever.
Me too.
That's the sad part about pickleball. Like I want to talk about it, then it makes me want to buy it, and it's a bad habit. The wife hates it.
Well, you can use my code.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know what's actually worse than buying paddles? It's actually buying shoes. Yeah. My shoes wear out so fast. Yeah. And like singles would be worse if I played consistent more singles, but my toes will wear out so fast because I'm like, honestly, it's a testament. I should move my feet a bit more. I like to stretch, and I'll stretch my left leg out, and I'll just drag it back. The wife will be like, "We just bought these a month ago, and I got a hole in the side." It's a problem, but you should try the Selkirk. shoes, actually. Be an advocate for me, because I would genuinely buy them if they're good shoes.
I want to try them. When my size comes back in stock, I think they sold out like right when they
really?
introduced the shoe. But once they get stock back in, I'm definitely going to try them. So I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I know a couple people want to try them too.
I would buy them. I need to. Like Nike, Adidas, I'll have them 2 months. The Nikes that I have right now, I don't know what they are. They're actually lasting a long time. But I had the Nike, memory's gone. But it was like a month and a half.
And then
gone. Yeah, it's like my toes were touching the court. Like I wore them literally as long as I could to not make my wife upset. It was as long as I could. The worst, honestly, is when I'll come to her and say, "Hey, my paddle sweet spot's gone and my shoes are broken," and it's like, there goes $400 that is no longer there. It's gear. Well, honestly, speak to this. Do you think the money you invest goes a long way? Like the cheaper the shoe, the less you get, or is there something out there that we don't know of? I don't know what shoes you wear actually.
Well, here's the thing: the Selkirk shoes are actually, I think the Court Strike Pros are at 100, maybe just above, which is actually not bad of a price for a shoe.
Yeah.
The regular Court Strikes are 90 or 80. And so if you're investing $80 in a shoe, if you do get 2 months, 3 months out of them, great. Like, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
The shoes I wear right now, oh, come on now.
You wear the Babylon ones?
Nope. It's a tennis shoe. It's the white. Blaine wears them too.
Oh.
I just can't think of it.
Starts with a D.
Yeah.
Is it Dia or Dia something?
Yeah.
Oh. Diodora?
Diodora.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Never,
Amazon comes out with a sale every once in a while where they're like $50.
Okay.
But they're good shoes. They last me a while.
$50. I can get a month out of $50, I'll take it.
I get them. I use them for almost 6 months.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yep.
That's a long time. The tread doesn't wear out on the bottom?
I'm about done with my pair right now,
Okay.
and I bought them in 2024.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'd like to try the Selkirks first.
Yeah, me too.
Nikes are so comfortable. That's why I keep going back to it. Like if I'm playing and my feet are crampy and uncomfortable, I can't do it.
Right.
You know what? My longest lasting shoes I had were actually the Skechers. Tyson McGuffin was wearing them, so I was like, I like those. But they are so flat-footed. I thought I was gonna have to get braces because of how good the shoe was. I was like, I'm willing to have somewhat foot surgery to make these last. But it's totally not worth because the sides wore out from shifting side to side.
Yep.
Gear. I could go on and on. I was going to ask you about your Tourna grip. You have 5 of them on here. I layer it in one. It's just so weird.
It's a recent change for me.
Okay.
So this is what the original handle is, and I can't give you the spec on what the diameter is, but or circumference, however you want to call it. That grip right there on the red, that's my 5th Tourna grip. So I took a bunch of old ones. I saved them.
Okay.
Because I use Tourna, and then I just throw all the old ones. I wrap them over top of each other, and then the new Tourna grip is on top.
Recycling.
Yep.
That's not a bad idea. It just feels like that's smaller hands, obviously.
I like the big grip because, first of all, it just feels more comfortable in my hand, and so when I do want to loosen up my grip to do just dinking or soft touch is 100% my game. I just have a really nice hold on the paddle. Yeah. So that's why I like that.
So do you bring any of your tennis background into? Well, obviously your tennis always is going to sneak into pickleball. What do you find is your best feature from tennis coming to pickleball?
Honestly,
and vice versa. Give me your worst coming in.
Sure. When somebody says, "Konnor, you look like a tennis player," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to." Yeah. And that, we could talk about it, but the smoothness, all of my forehands and backhands, two-handed backhands, one-handed slice, even my drop shot we worked on at tennis practice, lobs, all of these basic strokes I do have are tennis smoothness.
Yeah.
And I don't know what any other way. I
Yeah.
played tennis since I was like 6 years old. And so coming into pickleball, if I start having a big backswing and then the ball skips because it's a piece of plastic,
Right.
and I'm still swinging and I hit the ball before it even hits the net, I'm like, ugh, I did a tennis backswing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to go all
Yeah.
the way back here. Just stay out in front.
Yeah. Actually, I saw, I'm going to butcher the stat, but I think it was over 60%. I think it's actually, the number is higher than that, but pros playing in the PPA have a tennis background.
Wow.
More than 60. I want to say it was 75 plus, but I don't want to overspeak.
I believe it.
Yeah. So having said that, do you think it's getting harder and harder for people to go pro that don't have a tennis background?
I mean, the person that I'm thinking of who does not have tennis is Dylan Frazier, and he holds his own.
Yeah, he absolutely
he's pickleball.
does. Absolutely does.
Yes.
But that's one.
I
of
know.
How many? You know what I mean?
I couldn't speak to every player, but
Right.
like you said, going into that tournament and just getting obliterated by drives and hard, that's what those tennis guys do. They come out and smash the ball.
Yeah. And tennis players are now getting the soft game.
Right.
They've always had the hard. Now they've got the soft, and honestly, they're going to take the whole. It seems like they'll take the whole sport, and it's not a problem, because if I was trying to go pro, I'd have a problem with it, but I'm not. So I like watching it. I like watching the sport develop, but it seems like it's going in a way of tennis players.
Did you see Stackshrud get beat by what's his name?
Crum.
Yeah. And Crum was just shooting bullets like 1 inch above the net.
Absolutely.
Stackshrud released a statement about how singles is now basically mini tennis, which I found pretty crazy. My wife was just talking to me about it. But then on the flip side, I watched Ben Johns beat Ohani
Yeah.
the same day. And he's just crushing drives too. But Ben Johns is playing his pickleball game.
Yeah.
And so.
But Ben Johns has the tennis background, correct? I think. Some?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Some. Yeah.
Or ping pong too.
Oh,
He
was it?
Ping pong too. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's where his backhand comes from.
Well, yeah. Ben he beat Alshon today.
Yep.
And he took Alshon slow.
Yep.
Like, he had some passing shots.
Right.
When I think of passing shots, I actually think of Jack Sock. Speaking of Selkirk, Jack Sock's passes in singles is insane.
Unbelievable.
Zero chance I get a point against the guy. He shapes the ball. He'll get an ATP from the baseline. It's insane.
Yep. When he runs around his backhand,
Yeah.
2 feet on the left-hand side of the court,
Yep.
and he just does that whip around.
It's insane.
Yep.
Like coming here, playing people who only play pickleball, and then you go and see that. There's zero chance that someone who's just playing pickleball here can go and win a singles game with zero tennis background. I would think.
Yeah.
It seems that way. And honestly, doubles is starting to get played like tennis. Obviously the strategy is keep everyone back as long as you can. But those people that play tennis off a serve, people's returns are almost as good as hard as the serves now. And that comes from tennis. Like Catherine Parento, I watched her. I'm pretty sure she comes from tennis of some sort. Her returns are back on the baseline. Yep. And sad to say, I don't think there's a woman on tour that I could beat. I think that's safe to say.
I wouldn't want to try it.
No, I would. I would want it. Well, actually, I would want to try it just to be like, oh yeah, zero
just
chance.
To get humbled a little bit.
Because it's always in the back of my mind where I was like, oh, I could go pro, but I think that would humble me and be like, yeah, I'm good where I'm at. Like, I've had to fight to 4.5. You know what I mean? So, well, what's crazy is there's a tournament at Bash this weekend. I was looking at some of those guys. They're 6. I saw one that was 6'3". And then I'm pretty sure Ben Johns is 7'3", 5 or 7.
He's above 7.
Yeah. So there's a whole nother level to it. So those guys are fighting to play players like Ben Johns. Yep. It's like I'll include you in the next category, but there's people like me, 4.5-ish, 4.5 to 4.75. That's a category.
Sure.
Then you'll have above that to 5.25.
Yep.
Those are the people that I feel like they're thinking about going pro, will play in the money ball tournaments. And then there's the 6.3s that are like this close. They'll go play in the challengers, but I'm pretty sure. Do you know anything about the challengers?
The only thing I heard about them is you have to be outside of the top 20.
Okay.
That's what I heard. I don't know. And so most of the people who won those tournaments are already on the tour.
Okay.
They're just not in the top 20.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
So, okay. Take it here. So, say you wanted to go pro, you play in one of those challengers. Is it one and done?
I have no idea.
That's what I've asked the last couple people on here. I probably should. I'm so lazy. I should look it up.
It's on the website, I bet you.
Yeah, it probably is. And I just I mentioned this to Andy. Like, I talked to Sean. I told him he should go senior pro. I honestly think he should. But it's the money and the time invested that you have to commit to. You have to win every single game or lose one and go home.
Yep.
And we're from Ohio. I'm pretty sure we have one challenger around here, right? And I'm pretty sure it's Cincinnati or something like that.
And
Beer City, maybe Grand Rapids, Michigan. Like, we're in this is bad to say. I feel like we're in the worst place for pickleball. We really are. We're like a big city, but we're not Cincinnati. We're not places like Columbus. Columbus, I'm pretty sure, has Rachel Rohrenbacher and CJ Klinger. Yeah. We're not there. Right. You know, we have players like you who are 5-0, and that's the best we get. You know, to get better, I feel like you have to play better players. Yep. And play like Truett, obviously, like you said. But you play the same players, you start to learn each other's game.
Yep.
You'll play in other tournaments, just absolutely get waxed because you're not used to other players' games. Yep. Even though they're 5-0 like you, but like you start to understand each other's game.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your tournament background. I brought these in,
Yeah.
and you're saying we've got cabinets full. So tell us, give us some highs, give us some lows of your tournament.
Sure.
Tournament life.
Well, my very first tournament, I played 3-5 with my dad, and we went to. It was in Cincinnati, Mason, Ohio, and it was indoor. We played a bunch of teams and completely ran over everybody. And they were like, why are you playing a 3-5 tournament? Well, we had no idea what we were playing, especially at that point in time. We didn't know what tournaments were.
Sure.
So how do you know what level you are? So we finally got to the semis, and it was a very close match. And then the finals, we took it out of 3 games. My dad's cramping up. He had to have an injury timeout. Oh my gosh, he cracks me up. But we took gold, and it was a really good experience. And then we did the Glass City. And the first year I did Glass City, it rained, and so we played in the Rossford Rec Center with like the gym ball on the gym floor. Terrible. I found a video of me playing 3-5 Glass City with my dad, and I was like, I look like that? I look silly.
Embarrassed.
I mean, it was 3.5, 4 years ago playing pickleball, and I was like, well, that's why I was 3-5.
Sure. Yeah.
But every year we did Glass City, we medaled. So I have 3 and then hopefully 4 well, in each division too. So I probably have like 5 or 6 of them in my cabinet right now for Glass City. And then every year I would take that step. So 3-5. The following year I played actually 3-5 tournaments with my wife, but 4-0 tournaments with my dad. My wife and I won gold at the WPT Columbus.
Yeah.
And we did round robin 3 times with 4 players in our age group. And the age group was 19 to 29, and we're 26, 27.
Yeah.
So we were the old farts in the group.
Sure.
And it's a long story, but we won gold. And then we went to Texas for nationals.
Okay.
For WPT. And then we ended up losing in the first medal round, like the quarterfinals.
Okay, yeah.
So we were like 5th in the nation, 3-5 WPT.
Hey,
That's what I like to say.
That says something, yeah.
But it's people who go to the tournament, and we chose to pay to go.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
It's awesome.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Ever since that, I have not played a tournament with my wife, unfortunately. But all the 3-5 players hated to see me on the other side of the net. They're like, dude, you're not 3-5.
Yeah.
Right. And so then I basically skipped 4-0. I'll be honest. I did one 4-0 tournament, which was the Glass City the next year. My timeline's messed up. I think last year I still played 4-0 with my dad because I was playing with my dad.
Yeah.
And we crushed everybody. But the weather was involved. We just kept the ball in.
Yeah. It was super windy.
It was very windy.
I remember that.
But we played clean. We played as clean as we ever have. And then since then, I've played 4-5 with Mayan down at the Polar Paddle Taps, whatever it was called. I played a 5-0 tournament with Mayan in Cleveland. That one was probably a low because we went 2-4, but also it was our first 5-0 tournament.
That's something, yeah.
And so we got 2 wins, but also entering into the realm of 5-0 is like,
it's a different world.
They make balls, like I said before, what's wrong with a middle dink? Anything we would give to them, they could just give us a pretty ball back to the middle, like a neutral ball.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do anything. Yeah. And they just smacked us. And then my high point was 4-5 Beer City, me and Elliot, the OG 4-5 team. That was like my first 4-5 tournament.
Yeah.
And we got gold. We played all day with like 30 to 45-minute breaks in between each game. And
I mean, that's a tough tournament to win.
It must have been quarterfinals or like that particular round. The losing bracket plays into it, back into gold. But we played our quarterfinal match and we went down the first game 11-3. Like these guys were firing on all cylinders, and our mantra was margins. We'd get the ball over the net, make another ball, block them.
Yeah.
Make them hit, and we grinded out that second game. I'm pretty sure we were down to like 8-2, and then we came back and won. And then the third game, we took it. And once we did that, I knew we were going to win it. But
momentum was on your side at the point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a high point. Gold at Beer City, 4-5.
Sure.
And
I mean, that's a tough tournament.
Yeah.
I think a few pros play in it, right? Or at least go. They actually talked about it at this tournament they're in for the PPA. They talked about Beer City a little bit.
I think it used to be the top division was 5-0 plus or open.
Yeah.
And pros played in it.
Yeah.
And I can't remember her name, but she is a pro and she runs it. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But now it's paired with MLP.
Oh, okay.
So MLP is there for the midseason tournament.
Okay.
And so the pros are all there.
Oh, that's going to be
great.
Do
MLP while the Beer City, that is Beer City, still happens around.
That's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
So are you in it this year?
This year, I'm not.
Too close to the old due date?
Nope. She's due in September. But so in July, it's either my in-laws' vacation, not looking at my calendar, or I'm going to Cooperstown to umpire this year. So
awesome.
I have like a 2-week.
Yeah.
I think that's when Beer City is, and so I can't make it this year. But
so you said you umpire.
Yep.
I know you also teach some here at the local school. Tell us a little bit about it. You like it? Like you're doing one down here at the Mud Hen Stadium.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. I'm umpiring Defiance versus St. John's in varsity game. I've been umpiring since I was 14, so that's a whole nother thing we could talk about for a long time.
Yeah.
But I rose to the ranks of umpiring, got to college, and I was doing D3, D2, JUCO, ball. And it's just the same thing. Like, what are your aspirations how much are you willing to spend to go to a game only to get paid so much?
Right.
I got my wife and incoming baby, so I did not do college this year. So
Yeah.
I'm sticking to the high school. But yeah, I love umpiring. I like watching baseball, and I watch the Reds almost every game if they're playing.
Yeah.
And I like watching baseball from the front row seat.
Okay.
Making calls, some people might think it's hard, but I like the control. And oftentimes I'm always right.
Yeah. Fair.
Like
Yeah.
when I see a play, I know I'm right most of the time.
Yeah.
So if a coach is upset, it's usually a rule question, and they don't know the rule.
Right.
I had a game on VCSN last night, and it was a balk, and the kid didn't step towards second base, and I balked him, and the coach came out and he goes, "What? Why'd you call that?" And I was like, "Coach, he didn't step to second base." And he didn't want to believe me. But
Yeah.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I like umpiring. I like baseball.
So do you want to rise in the ranks? You're kind of saying?
Nope. Pause. I stopped. I'm not doing college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ever again?
Well, we'll see in the far future, but
Yeah.
There's
For
a
now.
lot of travel, and
Oh, is it?
you have to pay your own way until you get to Division I. So
Okay.
unless I get a call, like Ohio State University, I
Yeah.
need 3 games. You make $2,000.
Right.
There's no way.
Right.
A lot of the MLB guys or minor league guys actually fall down to Division I
Oh.
once they leave the road from minor league,
Okay.
and so they're top-notch umpires.
Right. Okay.
So-
it's an aggressive field too to get into.
Yep.
It's another pro status in itself.
Yep.
Did you have to go through a bunch of classes? I don't.
Yes,
anything
yeah.
about
You
it?
have to go to clinics, classes. You have to know the right people,
Oh.
know the assigners, and they have to trust that the person they're putting on the field is going to control the game and know what they're doing and look good doing it.
Wow. So it's clicky in itself too.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's the same thing.
That's great. You wouldn't think it. You really wouldn't. You would think this is just like what when I grew up playing baseball, it was just my dad they'd be like, "Hey, can you do this game?"
Yeah.
But then obviously, people care about it more when you've got a lot of kids that are probably going to go to college out
Yep.
of high school.
Yep.
You ever see any of that? Like you watch a guy and you probably know he's going pro and stuff like that.
I don't know about pro. I always think that I'll remember a name if I see it online. But
Yeah.
There's
Right.
no way.
But
I'll see local high school guys at the local colleges, like when I did it for 2 or 3
Okay.
years. I'll
Yeah,
see
that's
those guys
cool.
step up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool seeing, like, whenever a University of Toledo guy goes into the NFL, I'm always watching his
Yep.
name on the draft. I'm like, go. I don't know. I didn't know you were on the University of Toledo team, but I know the University of
Yep.
Toledo. Good for you, type of
Yep.
thing. Well, we're closing in on about an hour.
Well, that went fast.
It did. Oh, it's what happens when you talk pickleball, Honestly, we could talk pickleball forever, talk about a little bit about life forever. You got a lot of new things coming your way, new thing with Selkirk, new baby. You got to prepare differently for pickleball and parenting. My wife was the best. When we had our kids, she was like, you can still play to get out of the house, to like get away from the screaming baby. So I'm sure I'll still see you out there a little bit, right? Well, I'm looking more at her than
definitely. I'm going to be home with the baby, but when like summer hits again, we'll have the baby will be crawling probably.
Basically grown up at that point.
I'll be able to put him on the pickleball court and start hitting the ball with him. So.
Oh, is it a he?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
It'd be funny if no one knew and you just dropped it on here. That's what I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, actually, our child is Charles Andrew Masell.
Okay.
This is a name drop. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was like, well, that's what I'm gonna put as clickbait anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We named him after my grandpa.
Awesome.
And that's a perfect segue. Again,
Here we go.
the Selkirk did a Parkinson's Foundation, like a donation. If anybody bought a paddle, which I did buy this paddle, the Parkinson's Foundation, Selkirk donated
Awesome.
an X amount of percentage to the foundation, which my grandpa had Parkinson's too. So I am attached to this paddle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But our son, Charles.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, why don't you just plug your code one more time, and we'll call it a day.
Sounds good. ADV-KMASELL. And you'll get your gift card if you buy a paddle. But if you want to talk to me about it, hit some balls, just, contact Eli or myself, and we can...
We'll point you in the right direction.
Talk pickleball.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Pencil away. I gotta color the picture because your vision is great. I know some bitches is loyal, I know some is fake. They want a sample of my life, I told them dig in the crate. I feel the hate, yeah, I feel the hate.